Hey everybody, we are with Wesley Silva, who is the winner of our October 18th line follower competition. Hi Wesley, how are you?
Alright, I'm good. And you?
Can I ask you some questions about your school and which school you're attending, which country you live in, and of course, which grade you're in?
Yeah, so I'm a computer engineering student at Innsbruck. I'm at my semester. Innsbruck is not very well recognized for engineering yet. The course is very early in its stages, but it's pretty great. It's getting traction, and I think we'll get past that.
Perfect. And how did lockdown affect your school? Do you take your classes online or do you have any other solutions for that?
Yeah, sure. So, since March of this year, we're having online classes. So everybody goes to their homes. We are now just getting back to present classes and going back to the labs. But computer engineering is staying at home with the computers.
How did you hear about Riders and what did you think when you first saw the competition?
Yeah, I heard about Riders on the Robotics Worldwide mail list. I found the email in the middle of those 15 other ones. I don't know how. And the first thing I thought when I know about it was like, can I actually get into this competition? And is it all running on my browser? Because I don't have anything set up here. The deadline was just 2 years later, and I wouldn't have time to go and actually to set up anything. So I just Googled some other things about Riders. I saw that it was everything online, and there was no entry fee, and the competition was really open for me. So I just went in.
Cool. I'm happy that you joined our competition. How much did you know about coding and robotics prior to signing up for Riders? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your past experience with robotics?
Yeah, with robotics specifically, I would say like a 7, 8. As an eighth semester student at computer engineering, you know a lot of stuff about coding. But actual experience with robotics, I just had one class, a 6 semester class. So regarding ROS and relations and control theory, there wasn't a lot of it, but the coding part was all fine and dandy.
And have you heard about ROS, otherwise known as Robotic Operating Systems? Have you known about this system?
Yeah, so at the third semester in my university, we are introduced to ROS. All the projects use it, but we don't go very deeply on it. Just to scratch the surface on all the nodes and all the services. So I did know about it before going to the competition, but I was really rusty. It was like 2 years ago, so it was all new, all again.
Did you have any robotics club in your school or maybe individually with your friends? Did you have any robotics club to join the competitions or anything related to your school?
Yeah, in my university, we don't have a actually robotics club, but we have a bot fight competition. There is not about there's not a lot of intelligence in it, planning, no perception, only destruction and fun things.
With Riders competition, do you think you improved yourself in robotics and coding? And if so, how did you improve yourself?
Yeah, so I actually did improve a lot. My iterative process, starting from the basics, get each part working, and doing the perception part. What about the camera? What are the limitations of the robots? How can I really use those limitations in my advantage? And what I would not be allowed to do because of those limitations of the robot. So iterating on that and seeing what works best. I do a simple code that just works and try to do some magic things here or there. Would it help? Would it improve or just get the situation worse? Which is something that happened in a lot of times. Lots of things I tried in the code of this competition just made the robot go haywire and starting out of control. So I did actually learn lots of things about how the process would be getting the best score possible in the least amount of time. As I said, I had like only 48 hours to complete the competition, and this was that really a great experience.
That's such an impressive result. In just 48 hours, you finished the track as the first comer. And did you contact with any teachers or friends to collaborate on your code? Did you get any help on the parts that you stuck in?
Yeah, I tried to do this competition all by myself, just getting to know it and doing the first MVP code and getting things to work. I did ask for some advice from my friend who knows a lot more about control theory and all the stuff about electronics and a bit more mechanics. But all their improvements and all their ideas didn't work. So at the end, it was just my simple ideas that did the job.
I wonder how was your overall experience with joining the competition? Because you said you only heard it about like 40 hours before the deadline. So how was joining process? How was everything for your end in terms of submitting your code?
Yeah, it was incredibly smooth. I did the registering. I feed it around with the editor, the workspace. Everything worked like charm at the first try. And getting the environment working with the simulation and the robot doing anything at all is definitely not a given thing to me, because in the robotics class we spent like lots of hours just trying to set up everything, get the cameras working, get all the messaging services. And in Riders, I didn't have any of that. It was just a node, start, and boom, I was there.
Perfect. So I wonder also how was your experience with your editor and the simulation part, but I think you already answered that by saying things were pretty easy for your end.
Yeah, sure. Just that. The simulation sometimes, I think that my internet didn't work, didn't help with that. But from the writer's part of things, everything worked really smooth.
Would you think you further improve your robotics knowledge by training on Riders platform, using the Riders platform?
Yeah. Since the beginning of this month, I decided that I would start robotics for real, like for a real job, and get a master's degrees and PhD. And I think Riders is a great place for me to train some really quick ideas that I don't have really much time to go back to the lab or to my home where everything is set up, and just try it, because the ability to have just a simple notebook, a simple laptop, and start up all the RAWs and all the environments is a really great plus, especially when you're out in the field or just, I don't know, hanging out with some friends, and you have an idea, just test it.
As the winner of the competition, I wonder your opinion about the competitions and leagues. So what would you consider about a league competing for robotics? What would you think, and what would your friends think about the league competition format?
Yeah, I think that there's just so much you can do alone. So a league team competition will allow for a more complex challenges and more complex situations. And working with other people on complex projects is really a great way to develop yourself, not only as a robotics developer, but as a person in general. So I think that league competitions are a way to encourage people to join a team and do all of that would be really great.
I wonder what you think about the Riders platform. As you know, it's a platform that includes competitions and courses. What would you think your student friends or you as a student would pay for being into that platform and accessing all the courses and the competitions?
Yeah, I myself personally, I'm a really cheap person. So if I have to pay for something, it has to be really useful. Otherwise, I would do it myself. All my projects are DIY because I don't want to pay for a product that I know how to use. But as I said, for the opportunity to be anywhere in the world without a powerful computer or a badass robot, I think I'll be willing to pay for that, depending on the amount. And about my friends, most of them, they really struggle on that part of setting things up, setting simulation up, And I think this would help them really much on getting to know robotics without the hassle of installing Linux if you've never done it before, and just start coding, start testing your stuff. They will see if they like. If they don't like, okay, whatever. But if they do, then it will be the next step to learn to set up an environment in Rust and get a good computer for that.
As we know, you are the winner of the DJI Telodrone. So what are your plans with the drone? What are you going to use for that?
Yeah, I'm already getting started on some drone simulations and how it controls. Getting started to doing some SLAM, some localization, and using the camera. And a great thing that the drone didn't show up yet, because if it did, it would surely be broken right now. As I would be trying lots of things, and having still 1 week for it to show up is really a great time to get my stuff done, simulate other things before getting to do it on a real thing.
Yeah, I hope you will be able to safely use your DJI drone in order to develop your codes. What do you think about the competition format? If that was not an individual competition but a team competition, would you want to participate as a team? Would you want to participate with your friends to an online competition?
To any online competition?
Yeah.
Yeah. Having only 2 days to join it, I think to gather a team and work everything together, I think it wouldn't work really well. But if I knew about it much earlier, had time to get my friends in contact, I think it would be a really great time.
Great. I hope it will also be beneficial for you and your friends. Have you ever joined any other robotics competitions before Riders Line Follower competitions? And what sort of challenges you had when you joined, if you joined that competitions?
Yeah, there weren't any official competition. I did some just workshops and things with Lego Star Mines. I don't remember the name of it already. But my experience was not really smooth because I was really young back then. Didn't know much about coding and all the logics of stuff. So the competition was only to the workshop, and the challenge after that was just to get a cube from one place to another. And we took like 1 whole week to do that. And had efficient competitions and with prizes and lots of competitors. I didn't have any experience for that.
Do you have any suggestions to make Riders competition platform a bit more interesting or fun?
Yeah, one of the great barriers I encountered was when I was talking to my friends about what happened, about the competition that I won. They went to the Riders platform and immediately they got to the signing part of things. They couldn't see what was happening, what they were up to, what website was that. So they would just do a screenshot of, hey, should I really log into this? So if there was a place where we could see what is there in the Riders, and we could have just the sneak peek of what's inside, I think would be great.
Yeah, that's a great feedback. I hope we'll develop Riders platform with your suggestions. Do you have any suggestions as the winner of the competition? Do you have any suggestions for the beginners who learn the robotics from the beginning?
Yeah, I'd say don't be scared by the time constraints, by the complexity of stuff. You don't really need to be the best coder ever. You don't really need to be an expert in PhD. Mostly the simple answers are the best one, because all the complex stuff I tried to do didn't work at all. And I just went to my simple first idea and trying to do it the best. And then I went to see if I could do something better and try to fit other things. So I think that just be free, just try. I mean, it was free. I don't know if other competition will be free, but trying doesn't hurt no one. And no, don't be afraid. That's all I want to say.
Did you log into the Riders platform after the competition? Did you use the platform for any of your coding practices or your development processes?
Yeah, I did log in afterwards, though I couldn't get myself to know where to set up a new simulation, other robots, and other nodes. I am starting to set up my environments here locally, so I try to use my time on that. But I think after I know more about how the inner works of ROS are together, I think that using the Riders, I can do all the stuff I told you earlier about just opening up my computer and doing my environment and getting it up and running on the go.
Yeah, hopefully that will be beneficial for you. What other features do you think in Riders could be improving the platform?
Yeah, as I said, I don't know if this is already a feature, but if you could export a robot, any other one, or if you could use a robot there or just export a simulation, I think would be a great feature.
Yeah, our team are working on that, so I hope you'll be able to reach to that level, to that point. Yeah, would you be interested in participating in other future Riders competitions? And if so, what made you think that you will be interested in joining to Riders competitions?
Yeah, sure. First of all, like this was my first competition, so having a first step like that, I think it was a really great motivation. And I think that the next competition I would really be interested in if it involves drones. So it doesn't have anything to do with my with the prize, nothing at all. I swear. But any kind of competition involving drones and how to deal with them in the simulation environments, I think it would be great. Not only because of the interest I got from the prize, but also for any other people who doesn't have a drone that can be teleoperated, to just try some stuff and see what works, and at the end have a great competition to get it started.
Do you think Riders platform offers a valuable solution for the beginners in terms of robotic coders and the coders as well?
Yeah, for sure. As I said, the ability to get it up and running quickly and without any hassle was a great A+ to me. And I know many friends that didn't enjoy my robotics class just because they were having problems with the computer, with setting up the environment. They didn't know Linux very well. So using the Riders platform to get to know what are the commands, how's the way of thinking of robotics, it made place.
What do you think are the biggest strengths or positive sides of the Riders competition, Riders platform?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that kept me motivated throughout the competition was seeing that leaderboard go up and down as all the competitors were trying to get the best score ever. Every morning, every hour, also I was going to check the leaderboard, see what scores of things, how many people were up there against me, and having that to motivate myself to go and try to do my best, optimize the codes even more. I think it's a really great thing of Riders. The social environments that create, it's a really great thing.
Do you have other friends who would enjoy Riders? Have you discussed your experience with your friends?
Yeah, I can count right on the top of my head like 7 or 8 friends who asked me to tell them if there was another competition going. Some of them were mad at me for not telling them about that one. So there wasn't any time for that, sorry. But sure, it's getting lots of traction here.
Perfect. I hope your friends will be also competing against you in the next competition. What do you think are some advantages of the online competitions like you experienced with Riders over some offline in-person robotics competitions? What are the positive sides of having an online competition, you think?
Yeah, there's the big elephant in the room of not needing to get into the place to actually be in the competition, so you don't have to spend any money on transportation, on getting an actual robot to compete, because one of the big hassles of robotics is that it is expensive right now. Even there are some platforms where you can do things on the cheap, on the budget, but all the robots and all the mechanical parts from cheap robots they're not really that accurate, so you can get really frustrated with the results, and having an all online competition would eliminate all of that.
Let's go back in time a little bit. And when you were back in high school, I don't know if you were interested in coding or robotics as well, but what do you think if your school had Riders as a teaching platform? Would you be taking advance advantage of that system, or what do you think about having riders in your high school?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I was already interested in things like Arduino and getting a bit of coding, but nothing that advanced. One of the things I missed the most in high school was some place where I could challenge myself. So there were some student clubs, and there were some extra times with the professor, but it was only for students who didn't go so great that would need help. But the student who had extra time and wanted to go further, there wasn't any of that. And I think that most of it because of the budget constraints, mainly in robotics, as I said, all the infrastructure needed is very, very expensive. And having a place where you can safely try any idea that you have would be a great start. And being actually user-friendly, running in any computer, you could do it at home, not only in school, so you could spend all your extra time there. So I think it would be great.
What would you think about being a formal ambassador if Riders had a formal representative in schools? What would you think about being an ambassador and recommending Riders to your friends from school?
Yeah, sure. So now I really don't have much time with the end of the semester, but judging by all the things I've talked about on the ease of use and all the great things that you can do for starting to learn robotics without all the hassle of it, I think I'll be really into that. Come in.
Yeah, perfect. I'm so happy for that. And thank you for joining our interview as the winner of our competition. Once again, I would like to congratulate you on your amazing performance. We were also very excited when we were following the leaderboard during the competition. So well done for your great effort on the competition, and I wish you great luck on the next competitions and on your robotics career.
Thank you very much.